What's going on, ghosties? Welcome back to Tales of Spooky Coffee House. If you're new here, welcome to our podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Veronica.
And I'm Chelsea.
And it's time for our much needed coffee break. Ghosties, I just finished reading this book called Tender as the Flesh, which I've brought up, I think, the last episode that aired when I went to Barnes & Noble and I accidentally bought a couple more books than
planned.
So the story behind this book is I went up to one of the workers at Barnes & Noble and I was like, hey, I want to try out horror. I want to get my foot in the door. I want to see what it's about. I want to test my limits. What do you recommend? He asked, how do you feel about cannibalism? I said, I mean, let's do it. And so then he takes me over to the horror section and he pulls out this book called Tender is the Flesh. And I was like, okay, I'll buy it. The first one you wanted to recommend me, I'm gonna get it. Anyway, so this book is a novel by Agustina Basterica. If you guys are gonna read this book, please do not listen to the next couple minutes. Spoiler alert. It's quite interesting. It's pretty much about this guy named Marcos who's living in a world where all animals all around the world got this virus and they had to pretty much kill every animal on Earth. But because humans are so used to and love eating meat, they kind of went towards cannibalism. And in this world, in this book, cannibalism is now legal. So you can't just kill anybody you want and eat them. There's a process. And you know how in farms you raise certain animals and you raise them literally to be killed and eaten, right?
Yeah.
So they have that for humans. I love that you're finding this so funny, Chelsea.
It's giving like 1984 and Animal Farm vibes.
No, yeah. I want to read Animal Farm, by the way. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it's pretty much, about the life of Marcos, who's a narrator. He's not like divorcing this lady. They're kind of just separated because they had a son, but the son sadly passed away and the mom couldn't really take it, so she moved in with their mom to just kind of have that space to herself, heal as much as she can, because you can't really heal from losing a child.
Yeah.
And Marcos works at this plant where they don't call them humans, they call them heads, or they call them special meat, and that's where they explain the process of them getting knocked out, getting skinned, getting chopped up.
It goes into detail?
Of course. Yes.
Okay.
And at some point in the book, Marcos gets gifted a head, and it's a woman, it's a female, and she's branded. So they brand certain heads on their forehead when they're organic type shit, they're the best meat you could possibly get. And Marcos doesn't really know what to do with her. For the longest, he kept her in his barn, chained up, would give her water, procrastinated. What happened?
But isn't the whole point of her to eat? How does he not know what to do with her?
Well, here's the thing. Marcos he's not really into this new world of eating people. So he's like a vegetarian, if you will.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like,
he's vegan.
How do you not know what to do with her? She's supposed to be eaten.
Yeah, he procrastinates a lot on keeping her clean and stuff. But eventually one day he washes her, stuff like that. I don't know what happened in his mind because it didn't get into detail, but he pretty much sleeps with her. And then I found out that she was pregnant. I was like, what? Which is a big no-no. If the authorities find out that he impregnated her or even had sex with her, he would be sent to a plant to be killed and his meat would be sold. And same with her, I believe.
Couldn't just be anyone.
Yeah, but if you commit crimes, you don't get the fucking electric chair. You get to go be sent to get chopped up and eaten. And depending on your age, depending on what you put in your system, you may be high quality or low quality meat. And the thing with Marcos is that he purposely smokes cigarettes and drinks a lot so that if
He's low
they
quality.
do ever kill him, yeah, he will be low quality meat.
This fucking story is wild. Like this whole concept.
Bro, it was an amazing book. And then so it gets to the point where his dad passed away and he has beef with his sister because his sister's a little bitch that doesn't do shit but likes to pretend like she has done so much for her family, and you know what I mean, but no,
Yeah.
she hasn't. So the girl who he named Jasmine, he gave her name's Jasmine because she smelled like jasmine flowers. When he gets home one day, he realizes that she's in labor and he doesn't know what to do, so he calls his wife, who's a nurse, to come quick. Don't ask any questions, just get here now. The wife shows up and pretty much looks at Jasmine, looks at him, super disappointed, and then he's like, the child is mine, you need to save the child. And quickly the nurse came out of her, kicked him out, and she helped Jasmine deliver the baby. Marcos comes in, and as the wife and Marcos are kind of like in awe of this baby, you know, they lost a baby, so they're like, oh my god, it's a beautiful boy. Jasmine, who, oh, by the way, I missed a big fucking detail. All the heads, they rip out their vocal cords so they can't scream, talk, or anything like that. So Jasmine couldn't say or scream or say anything, but she was reaching out for her baby. So then Marcos goes and sits behind Jasmine and comforts her. And then I believe he takes her outside and whacks her in the head, killing her. And then goes back to his wife who's holding his son, going, this is our new son. This is our new baby.
I
And
can't.
the wife suddenly forgot that Marcos cheated on her, not only with a fucking head, but had a baby with this lady. And all of a sudden she's like, our precious, perfect baby boy. And that's where the book ended. Okay. My jaw was on the floor. My jaw was on the floor when I read that last page. I was like, what? Anyways, that was Tender as a Flash.
Oh my god, I'm adding that to my list to read.
Cannibalism book. It was very good. I loved it. The only part that really disturbed me in this book was when some teenagers killed some puppies and the book left no details out. So I really hated that part, but the human part was easy. Fuck yeah, slaughter them. Slaughter them. But the
Our
puppies,
priorities are a little fucked.
alone. Chelsea, I need your help.
What?
Ghosties, I need your help. So I posted on Instagram. I have 3 other books that are on my queue to read right now. And I posted on Instagram, like, to have my friends and family vote on which book to read next. But these motherfuckers kept fucking voting on the same ones equally. So I'm like, okay, beats the purpose. So I'm going to give you 2 options, which were the 2 popular ones in that poll. One of them is called Haunted, and the other one is called Mary, An Awakening of Terror. If you ask me where I got these books from, or like where I got the idea to read these, like these recommendations, TikTok, of course. So what do you think I should read next? Haunted or Mary, An Awakening of Terror?
Okay, I'm gonna be very, very fucking biased here. The only reason that I'm gonna tell you to read Mary, An Awakening of Terror is because I've read Haunted, and you know how fucked up I am and how much like I can handle.
Mm-hmm.
I almost couldn't handle that book. Like
really?
The detail, yeah, like the detail in it is so sickening. Like my stomach was churning. Not only that, it took me 2 fucking years to read.
Interesting. Maybe
Like,
I'll read Haunted.
I mean, go for it. Stephanie has it too, but it's one of those where it's like, it was really hard to read because the guy that wrote it, Chuck, whatever the fuck his last name is, he also wrote Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
And Fight Club was really hard for me to read too. It's his writing in general. It's kind of like Stephen King almost. Like there's so much information in it. But then like the detail of all the sick shit happening, like how about this? Just read the first part of it and then tell me your thoughts later.
Will do.
Like literally just read the first part and then let me know. Like, 'cause the swimming pool scene fucked me up from the moment that I read it.
Alright, I'm excited. Haunted it is. And to end my topics, I have a joke for you that I heard on the internet that I love to tell you.
Okay.
Why isn't there a pregnant Barbie doll?
Why?
Because Ken came in a different box. And I'm done. Go ahead.
That's vastly different from all of the jokes that I've been seeing on the internet lately.
Oh, with the submarine one?
Yeah. My
There's
fucking TikTok is so dark right now.
Dude, I've seen a couple TikToks where like it's like if Pedro Pascal was in that submarine, and so then there's a video of this guy who's like sipping the ocean water with a straw until like there's no more ocean water. And then there's another one where like it's Aquaman and he like dives down to like I guess save him or whatever, but I loved
Yeah.
it. I was like, hell yeah.
So besides the dark humor TikToks, I've also been having this one that's been going around,
Mm-hmm.
and it's reactions to this original video, which is "Would you kill for your kid?" And it's all these mothers that are like
Oh yeah.
hesitating,
Yeah.
and the answer is yes. Like, how would you say no to that?
I don't have kids, so I can't really answer that, but would I kill for my mom? Absolutely.
Right. Like, how can you, like, they're all like, I mean, I wouldn't do anything illegal. And I'm like, bitch, I would fucking gut somebody.
Yeah, like I wouldn't murder someone to murder them, but like if someone gets in my mom's space, I'm not backing up. Like I'm gonna fucking
Right.
step up and like defend her because I know like I don't have kids, but my mom is my kid. Like she's my little senior citizen child. You know what I mean? So so like you know what I mean? Like I'm very protective of her. What? It's true. What?
Would your mom hate us if we put that on a t-shirt with a picture of her?
I won't tell her until she's walking in a mall one day and sees their face on a shirt.
That was all I could think about was just her picture on a t-shirt with senior citizen child.
If lost, please return.
Stop, I can't.
Mm.
Okay, so the last time, since we were talking about the last episode, we were talking about spending too much money. I told you I bought all those shirts, right?
Right, right.
Well, the other thing was that same weekend, my friend and I from work, we went to the Rage Room to celebrate her
Mhm.
birthday.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like the Rage Room was awesome. But
Yeah.
then after, like we got food and we were like, yeah, hey, let's just go to the mall and hang out. And we're like, okay. That was a big mistake.
Why?
I spent all of my money that week
Oh, Chelsea.
and I bought new crystals, some new, like, some cute little new stuff. I also bought a tarot book. So it's called The Book of Tarot, A Spiritual Key to Understanding the Cards.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, this book is so fucking pretty. It's gold gilded with gold gilded edges. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
it gives off like the Book of Shadows from Charmed.
Ooh.
Right. Like that's the vibe that it gives off. It's so cute. And then besides like all of that stuff, at that point I had ran out of money,
Mm-hmm.
but I found these Wild Woman Oracle cards and dude, I was like so drawn to them. Like I couldn't stop going back to them. And so my friend bought them from her
Aww.
after we argued for like the longest time for her to not. And she was like, I'm doing it anyways. You can't stop me. But the cards, like I might start using because they are so beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're these like copper colored, copper colored with like white accent and black.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, dude, like I'm gonna post pictures and stuff. And I know we say that a lot, but I actually am going to. But they are so pretty. But so on top of like that was like 2 weeks ago, okay, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just did another thing
Oh god.
where
Uh-huh.
okay, listen. The actual price before the sale prices is over $500. After sale prices, and I have a paying for, is $150. And I just bought 32 packs of different tarot card decks. This evidence speaks volumes.
I don't even know what to say to you right now. I don't know if I should judge you or if I should just be like.
Technically, I bought 31 for myself, and I bought you one that I'm sending you soon.
No, that's not gonna make things better.
But I am sending you them because I specifically bought them for you because I do not like the TV show Friends.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, it makes it better.
So,
did you see they started
sorry,
production
there was no Pedro
on
Pascal ones, but
bruh, I'll make them.
Oh, speaking of making tarot cards, remember how we had joked that I would make Scream tarot cards?
Yes.
So
I didn't take it as a joke though.
Yeah, no, I did it.
Ooh.
So my friend from work that I was just telling you about that I went to the Rage Room with and stuff. She loved the idea, and we started making hers because she wanted a Pennywise set. But I assigned all of the tarot cards to Scream characters. There's a couple that I think I want to change, but I used every single character that was brought into the movies.
Yeah.
In the movies only. I did not use a TV show because I don't like the TV show. But so yeah, my next step is to create the back of the tarot cards, then figure out how I can use pictures without like getting in legal trouble.
Yeah.
And then after that, creating the guidebook and then publishing them. Like, I'm actually going to do it.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
When are you going to make me Pedro Pascal ones then?
That's on you. Like,
what the fuck?
I don't know enough about Pedro Pascal.
Just say you don't love me.
No, I love you to death, but I have no idea. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start, you know, like with the like who he is, each character, what each character represents. Like,
I got you. So Pedro Pascal is 48 years old. He was born April. But I was gonna ask you, did you see that they started the production for the third Hocus Pocus movie?
What? Did they really?
Yeah.
Let me look this up. I need info. I'm still waiting for Scream 7, and they're already fucking shooting Hocus Pocus 3.
Yeah.
Oh, they're starting to develop it. They haven't started like shooting it and stuff. Like, there's not even a script or anything yet.
What? There's pictures of them on set and stuff.
Maybe from the second one, but it says the studio is officially developing Hocus Pocus 3. And that was confirmed early June.
Oh, pues.
Ooh.
What?
Says rumors are starting that the 3 original stars from the original film might appear in the third installment.
Ooh.
I hope so, because that would be super exciting. Anyways, so I have one more story to tell you that's scary, but also funny.
Okay.
So, when I got home from work a couple of weeks ago, like, this is literally like 3-4 weeks ago, but Izzy woke up to give me, like, you know, loves and attention when I got home. And because she just woke up and she was dead tired, she suddenly looked behind me and, so serious and scared, she whispers, "What's on the ceiling?" When I tell you that, my fucking heart dropped. And I was just like, it's just a bug, it's not a big deal. Like, there was that part of me that had my anxiety fucking going crazy. And I was like, in the back of my head, it was just like, there's gonna be a face staring at you.
Nah, dude, throw her away.
But like, okay, so like when I finally pumped myself up to look above me, it wasn't even a spider or anything. It was just a fucking fly.
Oh, okay, never mind. Don't throw her away.
But dude, I was so terrified. I was like, I don't want to look. I need an adultier adult.
Bitch, you are the adult.
No, that's why I said an adultier adult.
Adultier adult.
adult who's been an adult longer than I have. It was horrible. And then as soon as that happened, fucking like a whole bunch of stuff on my TikTok started showing up about parents experiencing the same thing where they're like, fuck,
Yeah.
I have to be the bigger person. So, do you want to get into the true crime topic of the week?
I very much do, yes. There's been this true crime case that's been making its rounds on the internet, specifically for me, TikTok. So, Chelsea, do you think you've heard about this one? It's about, her name is Alexee Trevizo.
It sounds familiar, but do tell.
Okay, so I didn't make I didn't make notes, ghosties, because I feel like I know this topic quite well. If I do miss any specific details, I'm only telling Chelsea this story because I want her reaction and I want her thoughts and opinions on it.
So basically, she's
escuchemos.
saying don't go after her.
Don't go after me, okay? So Alexee Trevizo is a 19-year-old girl who is being charged with first-degree murder of her newborn son. So back in January, Alexee Trevizo got admitted to the ER because she was having lower back pains. And the information I'm giving you right now is information that has been shown from like the police's body camera, like their cameras that they have, and security footage from the actual hospital. So at one point, Alexee really needed to go use the restroom. So you see the security footage of her running to the bathroom, and as she's in there, her mom at one point goes in and checks in on her. Mom comes back to the room. Thing is, Alexee has been in there for like about 20 minutes, and the nurses start getting suspicious, and they start knocking on the door, trying to get her to come out, ask if she needs anything. Alexee, you can hear her running the water, flushing the toilet constantly, and getting like paper towels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so Alexee finally comes out, and this is right before the nurses were going to get like a skeleton key to open the bathroom door. Now, I don't even know why they have locks on the bathrooms in the ER, because in the ER here in my hometown, the doors are not locked. You have to knock before you go in because they leave it unlocked. You never know what's going to happen. But anyways, she comes out and you see her walking towards the bathroom. When the nurses go into the bathroom, they see blood everywhere. On the walls, on the floor, everywhere.
Jesus.
So when the custodian goes in there, she's, cleaning up, she's taking the trash out, but she realizes that the trash is kind of heavy. When she looks in there, she finds a newborn baby wrapped up tightly in a trash bag underneath the rest of the trash. So Alexee pretty much gave birth in the bathroom, put the baby in a trash bag, tried to hide it in the trash, and when the nurses went to confront Alexee, they walked into her room and they were like, and this is in front of the mom and this is in front of Alexee. And they were like, we did find a deceased newborn baby in the trash. And the mom goes, oh my gosh, Alexee, I just asked you about this. I told you to tell me the truth. And so then the mom also says, we talked about this. We talked about how these teenage girls kill their babies and they go to jail. Let that little sentence sink in, okay? So then the other TikToks are pretty much interviews of the nurses that were involved and hospital staff that was involved. And one of the male nurses was saying to the investigators and the detectives, what gets him the most is not finding the baby in the trash, although that's one of the worst things he's ever seen and he never wants to see that again. But she was in a safe place where she could have just literally handed the baby to the hospital, no questions asked, and gone home.
Exactly.
2, no one ever asked about the baby. If the baby's okay, if the baby is a boy or girl, blah, blah, blah. Not one person, not the mom, not Alexee, no one. No one asked anything about the baby. So then in that same footage of, her being told that there's a baby found in the trash, Alexee tells them, I was scared. I didn't know what to do. The baby wasn't crying or nothing when it came out of her. So then after that footage, it goes to one of the cops talking to the mom. Mm-hmm. And the mom was saying, I had no idea she was pregnant. Like, I didn't know. And the boyfriend was there at the hospital too, along with the boyfriend's mom. And so, this was back in January. More information has come out since then. For example, the boyfriend, apparently he did know that she was pregnant, but she had told him that she had a miscarriage. Two, there's videos of Alexee during cheer practice and stuff like that where you clearly
Can
see a
see that
baby
she's
bump.
pregnant.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's no way the mom didn't know that she was pregnant. That's bullshit and that's a lie. Secondly, why would the mom even have that conversation with her of other teen girls who kill
Yeah.
their babies and go to jail?
Exactly.
Suspicious. Since then, Alexee was allowed to go to her prom, and there's pictures of her in her prom dress, smiling with her boyfriend after murdering her newborn. But she wasn't allowed to walk at her graduation because other students and parents were just
Starting to
not
find
having it.
out.
Yeah, and they weren't
But they
having
let
it,
her
which
go to
makes sense.
prom?
They let her go to prom, dude. Prom. So this is an ongoing case that's going on. So I'll try to keep you guys updated on more information about it. I just kind of wanted to give you the highlights of this one to hear your thoughts, opinions, and how suspicious it all is.
Yeah, I feel like the mom was definitely in on it. I
Mhm.
feel like she definitely incriminated herself by saying that.
Mhm. The mom was saying that Alexee, like, she thought she really was just having lower back pain because when she was pregnant with her baby daddy used to like beat her. But you could just tell it's all like, I don't know, it may be true, but like she's just full of shit, you know?
No, like
Yeah.
that whole situation just makes me sick to my stomach. I don't know how people can do that. Like it reminds me of the case. I don't know if you've heard about him, the dad that just killed his 3 little boys.
Yeah, executional style.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand how people can do that. Like,
Yeah. And he was just so calm about it too.
yeah. Like we were literally just talking about how I would literally kill for my kids, and then there's people over here that are just like, "Oh, let me kill my children." Like I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
I haven't even bothered looking more into that case because it's just infuriating. Like it makes me upset and sick to my stomach that someone can do that to your own child. Like three beautiful like kids, first of all.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. That's just crazy.
So yeah, so that's my true crime topic of the week. It's all over TikTok. If you guys wanna look more into it, it's all suspicious. Very, very suspicious.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Do you want to get us started with the paranormal topic of the week?
Yes, I will definitely get us started. This is going to be a short segment. I always thought that the story was cool. There's really not, it's not so much paranormal as it is just like a what the fuck mystery, like an unsolved mystery.
Mm-hmm.
But, so we're going to talk about the Flannan Isles Lighthouse mystery.
Ooh.
So this happened on December 7th, 1900, when Donald MacArthur, Thomas Marshall, and James Ducott arrived at the Flannan Isle Lighthouse to begin their 2-week rotation as keepers of that lighthouse. The
Mm-hmm.
superintendent of the lighthouse is Robert, I think his last name is Murhead, came with them to do a routine check of it and speak to them. He made certain that everything was in working order so that when he left, like everything was good, like there was nothing wrong with the place. The only thing that was weird, and he had talked to James Ducott about it, was that they were having really heavy mist that usually surrounded the island, but it was coming in again. So that was like the
Mm-hmm.
only weird thing that they did.
Mm-hmm.
So the men said goodbye and the superintendent left. But this would be the last time that anybody saw these 3 men.
Ooh.
So the crew typically kept in contact with the mainland using signals, but because of that mist, they weren't able to do so. So they were only able to see the lighthouse 3 days out of the 2 weeks that they were there. In between that time, a passing ship said they did not see any lights on in the lighthouse during that
Mm-hmm.
time. So there's kind of like not really much information about what happened. Now, the protocol after these 2 weeks is on board the relief ship are expected to see a flag flying to indicate that the keepers had noted their arrival and would be deploying a rowboat to retrieve them. However, when this relief boat got there, the flag was not flying, nor did the men respond to the siren that they set off. So they sent 2 men onto the island, and when they reached the lighthouse, they found it locked, unmanned, no signs of fire in the grate for several days. The clock on the wall was stopped, and an untouched meal sat on the table as if somebody was about to sit down and eat, but nobody did. And a uniform, meaning at least one of the men had disappeared in his underclothes. So that's literally all they found when they got to this island. After the investigation...
I mean, I don't love it, but I love it.
Yeah. After this investigation, it was determined that there was no foul play, but it is believed that the men might have been trying to secure equipment outside when they were washed away by the high rise of the sea waves. Despite this would also mean that their bodies were claimed by the sea since they never washed up. Another theory that officials play with was that MacArthur killed his 2 companions before either being claimed by the waves or jumping ahead of. But again, there was no evidence of this, and it doesn't explain why the clock was stopped or why they would bother to lock the lighthouse door. You know what I mean? Especially if they were in a rush to secure equipment because of the storm. Why would they take the time to lock the door, especially when there was nobody else on the island?
Right. Like, what's the point?
So, several years after their disappearance, a journal was brought up. A lot of people argue that it's fake, but it showed that the keepers were monitoring the storm, and one of the last entries was finally calmed down. And so this caused like a lot of like controversy on like what happened, but because some people argue that it was fake, and it wasn't really like if everything was calming down, then that would just throw like 2 out of the 3 theories out of the door. You know what I mean?
Right.
But other non-evidence-based theories range from a sea monster to kidnapping to the ship of Davy Jones claiming their souls.
Not Davy Jones.
Yeah, that honestly was my favorite because like I was reading the whole thing and I was like, of course Davy Jones is going to be brought up.
Love it. I'm here for it.
But yeah, so these 3 men disappeared in December of 1900 and were never seen again.
I like it. I like it a lot. It reminds like this is a topic that I want to talk about that I'm probably gonna save for like the last episode or something. But it reminds me of those scientists that were found with like their tongues ripped out and this and that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they were like clawing out of their tent or something like that. Like, ugh.
Yeah, there was also I feel like we've talked about it before, but I don't think we did a segment on it. It was in a snowy area in the mountains, but a group of scientist hikers, they went missing, and then when they finally found them, they were in the completely different area from where they said that they were going. And a lot of them were found shoes having ran away from their campsites.
I think that's the same one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was very, very interesting.
Think their tongues were ripped out, this particular one, but I do remember something about, but that's crazy that there's more than one. Like, that's just, it makes me comfortable knowing that I never went into any scientific area of study. Scientists die a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Like, they're the definition of fuck around and find out.
Well, they fucked around and they found out, unfortunately, but we will never know what they found out.
Right, exactly. So, with that being said, we have a special tarot reading this week.
For a special person.
Taylor was listening to one of our last episodes before we took a little break and heard us doing a tarot reading for Z from her deceased loved one and requested one as well. Only instead of her grandfather like Z, she asked for her grandmother who passed away. So card 1 represents the loved one who passed away. Card 2 is a message that this loved one wants to give. Card 3 is something this loved one thinks is important. Card 4 is how the loved one is doing on the other side. And card 5 is how the loved one will communicate with you in the future. So card 1 represents the loved one who passed away, and this comes through the 4 of Cups. So your grandmother was somebody who really contemplated and meditated over what was important to her. And it was very important that she felt for herself and realized like what made her feel bored or unhappy and doing something to make her life better. She really wanted to focus on that aspect. She was a very positive person and really tried to not focus on the negative. Card 2 is a message that this loved one wants to give, and this comes through the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So your grandma wants you to realize that you might have little motivation or like poor productivity, and it might be because you have either a repetitive or boring job at the place that you're at. You might also be trying to be too much of a perfectionist and are turning into a workaholic. So you really need to like stay disciplined and focus on your self-development to make sure that your needs are met rather than just your wants. I feel like that was pretty that was a pretty blunt message.
Yeah.
So card 3 is something this loved one thinks is important, and this comes through the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So your grandma thinks that it's important to be careful about recklessness as far as overindulgence or too much work or lack of self-discipline. So you may be working too hard and you're getting reward, or you may be getting rewards without putting the work in. So you really need to focus on increasing your sense of self-worth and what's meaningful to you, because material wealth will not bring you happiness in the end. Card 4 is how your grandma is doing on the other side, and this comes through the Magician reversed. So because your grandmother tried to focus on a lot of the positive sides of life, she was really able to achieve manifestation, and the universe was able to provide her what she had asked for. So on the other side, she is living her best life.
Oh, love that for her.
Yes, I absolutely love that.
I think when it comes down to like our loved ones on the other side, that's what brings us peace. Like, yes, it sucks that they're not here anymore, but the fact that they are, like, you know, you hear like they're resting in peace, yeah, blah blah blah, but the fact that they're living their best life and they're
Yeah.
getting all that they manifested for, like, you're happy for them, and that gives yourself some kind of peace. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So the last card, card 5, is how your grandmother will communicate with you in the future. And this comes through the 10 of Cups.
In your dreams.
I mean technically. So
Yeah.
whenever you're feeling a sense of happiness, whether it's emotional happiness, harmony, or even a domestic bliss with your family, your contentment and your happiness with that is how your grandmother is going to communicate with you. She is going to be there every step of the way.
I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to say this, but like if you're ever happy out of the blue, like out of nowhere, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, why am I
That's
so
your
happy
grandma.
right now? I feel like that's your
Yeah.
grandma with you, and like whenever she's like in your presence, you're gonna feel like that happiness, that peace, that love,
Just
you know?
wash right over you. Yeah.
So don't question it. It's your grandma. Embrace it. Talk to her. Love that for you.
Yes, I'm happy that we finally got around to this reading.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Taylor, for allowing us to have this personal reading with you. Ghosties, that is our episode. How are we feeling, Chelsea? You feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely been a while, so I was a little rusty for a second.
For a second.
Your bully is showing.
Your belly is showing. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Ghosties. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, make sure to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok, and please, please, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want a tarot card reading, please feel free to DM us. We will choose one lucky person a week. We are your hosts. I'm Veronica.
And I'm Chelsea.
Have a spooky weekend. We will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.